I just stuck a bull. This bull has been sounding gnarly, nasty. On my right, there's two bulls fighting. I can see them going, their bodies moving back and forth between the trees. And then all of a sudden I hear this. There's another bull right there. Walking through his aspens.
I shot him. Did you hear that?
No. Oh. We both just shot the same bull.
I shot him first.
He shot him first. Oh my gosh. What a heck of a pursuit, dude. All freaking day.
When your buddy calls you, says you got a buck down. And what does he got? A buck down.
Look what I found.
What a sweet coos, man. Opening day, heck yeah. Way to go, Steve.
Built mountain tough, SKRE Gear offers hunters the highest quality clothing for affordable prices. With patterns designed by military concealment specialists, SKRE Gear brings you closer to the game without being detected. With every climate in mind, SKRE Gear hosts a huge selection of clothing for all the terrains of North America and beyond. Check out SKRE Gear today at www.skregear.com. Use promo code BOWHuntingAZ for 15% off your first order.
National Automotive Repair is a locally owned and operated auto repair shop in the heart of Phoenix, Arizona. Jake McLaughlin and his team operate their business with a foundation of honesty, quality, and integrity. From routine oil changes to larger mechanical repairs, National Automotive can solve your issues and have you back in operation. The shop is located right off of I-17 and Thunderbird off Sweetwater Avenue, or call Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 at 602-978-3278. Arizona Archery Club is a premier partner with Bowhunting AZ. When it comes to attention to detail and a fiery passion, Arizona Archery Club brings it all to the table. With all the latest bows and archery equipment, you can demo every single model in person, free of charge, in their multiple demo rooms. Walk through the process with an experienced bow tech and see which bow is right for you without the sales pressure. Their indoor archery range offers air-conditioned lanes where you can shoot out to 40 yards. Take this awesome opportunity to hone in your accuracy and technique. When you visit, be sure to mention that you're a listener to the Bowhunting AZ podcast. Let's all support local. Real estate agents, are you looking to make your listing stand out? Arizona Listing Media has been transforming real estate listings since 2013 with their 5-star Google-rated services. Arizona Listing Media offers stunning photography, captivating drone footage, immersive 3D tours, and engaging video reels to showcase your properties at their very best. Are you ready to elevate your marketing game? Visit ArizonaListingMedia.com and book your session today. Let's make your next listing unforgettable. And we're back. We're in the second segment of our Hike to Hunt series here. I'm back with Eddie and Scott. And Eddie was just telling us an essential item that you're definitely going to need, and that's teepee.
Yes. Dig a very deep hole. Don't leave it out there for Scott to find.
No, I have to clean up, guys. Make sure it's biodegradable.
In this second segment here, we're going to kind of jump into a little bit more of the community impact, future outlook, and just kind of just some general conversation about Hike to Hunt. In the last series, we already covered some of the courses, some of the shot scenarios, gear items that you're going to want to bring and stuff like that. So, yeah, welcome back.
Thank you. Long time no see.
Yeah, I know, right? Let's see. We'll jump into the community aspect kind of. Well, actually, did you have the age thing or did you want to cover that?
No,
Okay,
I was waiting to see if the message came through yet. No.
We'll talk a little bit about how Hike to Hunt kind of fosters the community among archers, whether like we were talking, friendly competitions, little betting wagers, things like that. What's some of the camaraderie and stuff that you've seen out there? going on?
So, being a newer shooter, like, join a group. Like I went to events by myself. You meet new people. Just people are more than willing to let you shoot with them. Like I was a little more nervous about joining their competition just because of my skill level, right? Like there's no money involved, but everybody wants to win. But one thing I want to put out there too, and it should be part of your registration in your email when you get it, is we do have a digital scorecard that people like using. The only problem is they don't download it until the day of the event.
Okay.
Well, there's no service. So if I can reiterate, download it before you get there. That way you can use it. Most guys just use notes, on their phone just to keep track of score. But yeah, just the camaraderie of everybody just, being out there together. There's great shooters, there's average shooters, and there's beginner shooters. But everybody's just there to have a good time. So,
Yeah.
Eddie?
That's 100% what it's about, man.
Yeah. You said last year they had a big trad group show up, and obviously those guys are very tightly bonded, community, and so that's kind of cool to see those guys come out there and do that. And then, do you see? I don't really recall too much. I wasn't necessarily paying attention though either. I was having fun shooting. But did you see a big group of like dedicated 3D shooters? Not necessarily bow hunters, but just dedicated 3D guys.
I know
there?
a lot of the guys that shoot a lot of the local tournaments go and do it, but they bow hunt too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was actually talking to some buddies the other day, but a lot of the 3D events around here kind of dying down a little bit. So I think it's just getting people interested in these events, which you guys are doing an awesome job. It's growing every single year. The local stuff is not doing as good as you guys, so you guys are definitely doing something right. But yeah, that's the whole thing, is just getting new people out there and getting the people that have been doing it for a long time, keep them interested in what they want to go do up there. So you guys are doing awesome.
Well, that's the biggest thing with the interest. Like I know a lot of the local ones you're talking about, it's the same shoot every time. You know what I mean? So it's hard to, it's hard on their end to make it different, right? Like you're in the same facility, you have the same background, with us doing different locations and venues and stuff like that, like we have the ability to, even if we kept doing the same like facility, basically, we can do it backwards. We can do it this way. We can do it sideways. We can go east instead of west. Like there's endless capabilities. And I think people appreciate that the most because it, like I told you before, it's all custom done. I don't want to say day of, but weeks upon. Like we scout it. We use the Onyx, backpack or backcountry, and we just log it so we know how to find our
dropping pins left and right.
Exactly, it's a good glassing point. So, but yeah, that's the biggest, and that's the hardest thing because you gotta keep interest.
Yeah.
Because shooting the same thing every day, it gets a little repetitive. So
sure. Yeah. Yeah, and that kind of rolls right in perfectly to the next topic or question. Kind of was just like, are there opportunities out there for networking? For the guys that are newer, can you pick up information or look at other people's setups and see things? I'm sure there's a ton of opportunity to gain knowledge out there, and whether it's mentorship from some of the guys that are more experienced, or networking too, because you said you've got a ton of vendors that are local businesses out there. So there's mentorship opportunities, networking opportunities.
Yeah, there's all that there, and like I said, we do our best to, like, we have some of our bigger, sponsors and vendors that come out that they travel along the country, so everybody kind of knows them. But it's the little guys where like you can literally drive to their store, 30, 45 minutes and you're there.
Yep.
So that's what we're more geared about. It's kind of giving them the spotlight, and then in turn they're going to talk about us and help us grow, which in turn works both ways. But as you're talking with other hunters or other shooters, that's how I started. I basically, would just ask somebody else, like, hey, like, this is my setup. Like, what should I be looking at different? Oh, you should, look at this site. Look at this, and kind of go from there. So, it doesn't hurt to ask. I mean, obviously, coming here, you guys are very knowledgeable, Eddie. So, and whether you have $100 to spend or $1,500 to spend on that Garmin, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to push them in that direction unless you ask for it. let's be honest, a $250 sight and a $1,500, you still have to hit the target. You know what I mean? So it doesn't.
You still have to shoot the bow, and you still have to know what you're doing with your equipment.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, that's nice. And just getting advice from veterans is better because it's not a cheap sport, as we all know, but Eddie always tells me, it's a buy once, cry once. So, but it's nice to get useful information. Like, I've been listening to your podcast quite a bit, and just hearing, like, when you guys talk about different products and stuff like that, it's like, okay, cool. Now I don't have to do the research. You know what I mean? Like, somebody already more knowledgeable than me has already done it. So, you take their advice and you kind of just roll with it. So
yeah, heck yeah, man. Can you share a story of like a friendship, collaboration, or something that began at one of the Hike to Hunt events? Have you seen some sort of bonding like that occur?
So, I mean, like I said, with such a big event, so many people, so many shooters, like people, I've seen it where, like a small group of 2 turned into a group of 7, you know what I mean? And now it turned into a good event, and people are more, you can use gambling or, kind of, trying to score points and stuff. Yeah. But, I mean, the biggest thing, and like I said, I'll use it from my own experience, is, just meeting new vendors and meeting new shooters and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. A lot of the shooters that I saw at the event, I see here, I see at Ben Avery's, I see at, the local shoots that I do, like you see everybody. It's just a small niche community. But I mean, one of most recent is, one of the vendors that we have out there, him and his wife have a coffee truck, never met them, never did anything, just knew he liked to hunt. So I was like, hey, I'm getting over to Counterattack, I need somebody to go hunting with. He goes, tell me what weekend, I'll be there. So literally showed up at his house, threw all of our stuff in the trailer, and he just took me. Yeah. So it's like little stuff like that just makes a world difference. You know what I mean? Like, you just getting the exposure and just getting out there.
Absolutely.
So
I'm spoiled because I get to see that stuff every day, right? Like, the people that kind of connect in here are the same people that get to connect up there, right? And it's just kind of branching out because there's people from other shops, right, that maybe they don't come here, but they're going to meet them out there. And it's every year. Like, even going up this past year, Jay texts me. He goes, hey, this girl, I'm going to introduce you to her because her bow is a little bit older and stuff. Now she just got a brand new bow. They're all excited to go to Hike to Hunt this year.
That was recent, wasn't it?
Yeah, Hannah.
I remember that.
So
yep.
It's awesome how that stuff grows, and it just kind of touches everybody because it's honestly a small world.
Yeah, that's cool.
And everyone knows everybody, so it's awesome.
Was it a week ago? I brought my sister in, and she's like, dude, I saw your video on the commercial that you guys did. And she's like, I want to go do the shoot. I was like, okay, do you have a bow? She's like, no. I was like, all right, well, let's go to the archery club and let's get you fitted, And I was like, you need to get some practice in because those targets are a lot smaller than the ones in the range. So, but yeah, I mean, that was just not spur of the moment, just kind of like let's do it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Left with a bow.
There you go.
Youth and family. So what initiatives are in place to encourage youth participation? You said you've got a more youth-friendly course. You've got some closer markers for some of the youth to do.
Yeah, so the markers are always set. We use like an orange cone that has like 1 through however many targets we have on the course. And then you basically just, whatever color that is, like we'll have tags hanging in the trees. You have pink, green. You just follow that and go through. But like I said, to kind of promote like more youth is, even if it's a 20-yard target and they don't feel comfortable, just like I said, let the adult shoot first and then just walk forward and let them shoot. Yeah. Like I said, there's no, for the most part, people are understanding. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Like, people are just there to have fun. So I mean, if it takes an extra 5 minutes because a kid wanted to go walk up on what's one of the fun ones? Oh, we got the Sasquatch, but we got we got a dinosaur.
I'll say like the raptor.
The raptor. Whatever. We got a cobra.
Yep.
Yeah, cobra head, which is always a fun one. Which that tree behind it last year was just littered. it was bad, and I couldn't get him out. We just had to start snapping him.
Oh man,
it was yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, there's no. Everybody's at the same level in these events. You know what I mean? So. We want to get the kids, because the kids are the future, right? If the kids don't do it, then we're out of jobs.
Yep.
So we just need to kind of gear it towards them a little bit more too. Yeah. Sorry, real quick one. as these events get bigger and we start getting more, courses and stuff like that, Jay and I were just recently talking about, if we have the space and have the ability, we're talking about doing just like a separate like kids course. It might just be like 10 targets or whatever it is, but we just need the extra space for it. Like I said, with our previous location, we were kind of maxed out as it was, but I think that would be fun. Just they could probably shoot it 3 or 4 times and just they'd be done for the day because it's tiring pulling back, but you don't have to worry about them hiking the 3-4 miles and stuff like that. So that's something we're looking forward to in the future.
That'd be cool. Definitely. We kind of already covered, does it cater to families, beginners? You had talked about the special discount for youth if they buy the 3-day pass. It was $70 for 3.
So the youth pass is $25 for the day, but it's free.
Okay.
If you do the total access with an adult shooter.
An adult, okay.
And it'll say it on the website. It may actually be two youth for free, I believe is what it is. That's with the total access, which works out good for families.
Okay.
We've been seeing a lot more families. I saw a husband and a wife with a newborn. Mm-hmm. They basically, one of them was just packing, carrying the kid.
Oh yeah.
The other one shot. Then they took turns, they swapped, and then the other one shot. So like I said, this was an infant, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's truly geared for fun for the whole family.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think I remember some people doing that too. They had the baby carrier. We're carrying the kid around that very first year back in 2019 too. So
yeah, I mean the weather's perfect. I mean that's why we choose.
Oh, yeah.
And not only for, everybody's using it for that's where most of the units are for elk anyways. But
sure.
It's just the weather's perfect. I mean it's 2 hours away and it's 30 degrees cooler than Phoenix. So
yeah. Especially in August, that's going to be nice to get out.
Get out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it gets cold at night. I mean, I was in my trailer last year, and that heat was on all night, man. It got cold at night.
Oh, yeah.
So,
what about memorable moments or some sort of testimonials? Do you have anything that stands out from a previous event of just somebody that, said something afterwards or had a cool memorable moment while they were there? Have you ever had anybody propose at one of these? That's what we need. Need someone to propose at one of these things.
Pressure's on now. As far as I know,
we'll find you somebody.
Yeah, as far as I know,
that's funny.
I've not had a proposal.
That's funny.
No, I mean, it's just an all-around thing. Like I said, I don't. Not one specific thing is kind of stuck out, but
sure.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past somebody to propose, but. Probably also get a no if they don't hit the target with the proposal. You know what I mean?
If you hit this 12, it's a yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh man,
we can do
awesome.
that.
Right?
That could be the.
There you go.
That could be your sponsored one.
Get a jewelry sponsor.
There we go.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Bunch of CZs.
Has there been any unexpected challenges or successes kind of over the last couple of years?
Basically, the biggest thing is just location. You know, like I said, we outgrew it, and finding new ones is not as easy as it sounds.
Sure.
I mean, we can go from here to Oregon. I mean, there's woods for days. Ski resorts are call it an easy area just because it's all wooded. It's nice. You got the ski lifts and it just works well. But it's their summer season.
Sure.
They were last on their priority. They're you know what I mean? So like those would be great. But the challenge is just getting it, because we need to start planning these things a year in advance.
Right.
So finding locations is always tough. We've been trying to work with some Forest Services because I know we had talks with, doing different ski resorts and, the facility's great, everything works. It's just we don't have enough space to do the 4 courses safely. So we got to work with the Forest Service where, like, hey, can we borrow some of this land? I know it's an extra permit and all this stuff, but it's like we need to expand to be safe. Mm-hmm. So it's double permits, it's double this, it's negotiations with that. So that's been the hardest. And then, just like everything else, everybody shows short-staffed. So it's like, vendors are hard. I mean, we're doing our best to get their name out there, and it's just we'll show up to an event and we get a lot of no-call, no-shows, or we'll get like a week in advance, like, hey, we're actually not going to make it, and it's okay, it's like like it doesn't hurt us per se, but it's like it kind of looks bad because people would like to see 10, 15, because people are willing to spend, you know what I mean? Like vendors are selling out of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and whether you have product or you're just marketing, you know, a specific, you know, thing that you do.
Yeah.
Like you have 1,800 to 2,000 people that are walking through here. So
Sure.
To me, I don't understand why, but I think it's just the nature of the business. So
Yeah. Have you guys ever had any feedback or anything that's provided or helped influence like future events?
I mean, the biggest feedback we kind of get is, people are, a lot, I don't know what the word is, but like people tend to say like we're, wait times, like that's always the kicker that nobody wants to talk about, like
if they're complaining about wait times, they need to go shoot more tournaments.
I was going to say,
there's other tournaments that are bad.
Not everybody's always going to be happy. There's always going to be some players, but we do our best to make things fun, safe, and just competitive, basically. So,
Right.
And like I said, we can't help if people want to shoot 3 or 4 because it's a great shot, and
That's what it's about, though. Like, why are you in a rush?
Yeah.
You're up there to relax and have fun and hang out with the homies and
Chill,
do
bro.
all that.
Chill.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know. Like I said, yeah. I see people all the time. They, because they got their packs, so they're packing in food and drinks and stuff. So they'll just sit down and lean against a tree and
Have a picnic.
yeah, exactly.
Calm down.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So come with an expectation of patience or with a characteristic of patience because, you might get a group of 7 people in front of you and everyone wants to have their time on the target. So do you. So give that person the courtesy of, letting them go through their proper draw cycle and taking the time to properly execute a shot because everyone's trying to get that, hunting experience in on this course. So just have that common courtesy with all your other fellow hunters. Just like you would expect someone to have common courtesy with you out in a real hunting scenario. So
Exactly.
yeah. I would say the biggest thing too is like, if you miss the target, more than likely your arrow's done. You know what I mean? Like let's be honest.
Yeah.
You may get lucky, but I guarantee it's not shooting right the next time. So you get a lot of backups with people chasing arrows and stuff like that. So you got to almost anticipate like if you missed, you missed.
Yeah.
It's time to move on, and I'll find it later when I clean
Yeah,
up.
even if you find that arrow, make sure you're actually being safe and checking it out before you shoot that because that could be pretty bad.
Yeah, no, like I said, and that's the biggest thing. I know some arrows range from a few dollars to $40. You know what I mean? So it's like people really want to find those things, but at some point you just give up and you say that's enough.
So don't show up too attached to your arrows.
I feel like I owe Jay a cut of our arrow sales because we always have people come in like right before, like, oh, I just need specific arrows for hike to hunt, light, cheap. I just want to go blast them out there. We got the perfect thing.
Yeah. We already got your measurements in the system, so
Exactly.
just tell me how many you
Tell
need.
me and we'll get them ready.
Yep.
Do I smell a royalty?
Yep.
Mr. Wonderful over here.
Yeah.
Are there any plans or ideas in the works for future locations potentially?
Yes. So we're in the works. We're trying to work. We're currently working with some ski resorts, like I was saying before.
Okay.
To us, if we can work with one specific company, that would be the best because then you don't have to you work with one guy,
Right.
whether he's at that location or this location, he could, feed on the information, say, hey, these guys are great. We made a ton of money. You guys should take them.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some locations in the works. Like I said, our goal in 2026 and beyond is to get to at least 4 or 5. I feel like that's a good number that we can, we're a good sized company, but I feel like we can handle that kind of volume, and we don't have to travel as far, we just stay on our side, basically Southwest is our kind of our sweet spot.
Yep.
And our goal is to start north and then just move the trailer and the targets down as we go. So that's our goal is 4 or 5 locations in 4 or 5 different states. So, because I know there's a lot of shooters, like New Mexico and Colorado, people are going to hunt those areas anyways. So you might as well give them the opportunity to learn the terrain, especially by all means, if you're from Arizona, please travel with us. You know what I mean? Like go check out different places. And then for the other people, because we had a lot of Colorado that came down, that still come down to like Arizona. Excuse me. They'll also come to like New Mexico and stuff like that because it's close enough. But like I said, it gives you different terrain and just different atmosphere, which everybody's kind of looking for.
Heck yeah. How does Hike to Hunt envision its growth in the next 5 years? Like you just kind of alluded a little bit, I guess, to that of getting those, 4 or 5 locations. Do you ever envision like multiple shoots per year per state, or do you think it'll be a one shoot per state per year for a while?
I would say for a while it'd probably be one. I mean, truthfully, right now it's 8 days worth of work. So I mean, we'll get up there on Sunday. We'll start on Monday. We'll have to have everything done by Thursday. Then you shoot Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm usually packing up on Sunday and Monday. So logistically, like that's kind of where we're at. We have been talking, and I know he's done it in the past where we've done those pop-up locations. I'd like to do some more of those because I feel like just there's too much gap in between, and I think people look forward to those.
Oh, yeah.
So there'll be smaller numbers of people, like limited release basically. But I think something like that would just bring more attention because, like we said, you're not shooting the same place every time, and it gives somebody, like, even if it's a month away, they have something to look forward to.
Any other messages or additional messages that you'd like to share with potential participants?
I think we pretty much hit everything. I just want to make sure like people know, like, there's normal shooters that will just come in shoes, jeans, and t-shirt, and that's perfectly fine. Like I said, I mean, there's guys that'll be full camoed in ghillie suits, like they're just like it's a whole range of people. Just make sure there's a lot of hiking, comfortable shoes, probably not the best. I would definitely invest in a good pair of boots and break them in before. And, like I said, water is key. But, like I said, we're all here to have fun. So, there's no real expectation. Just like I said, have fun and just come support us and come support local businesses is basically our motto. So,
where can listeners register to find out more information, stuff like that? What's the website?
So, hiketohunt.com is our website. You can follow us on socials with Instagram and Facebook. So when you register, like I said, it'll just it'll kick you over to Stride, which you can do your registering. But socials is the biggest. And it's how we all got here, right? And like I said, share, follow. I mean, we just started talking about bourbon the other day, and I didn't even know you had another. So now I'm following that too. I'm waiting for that to release. So, but yeah, like I said, I think that's the biggest thing is just share and let's everybody just talk about archery and let this thing grow.
The Instagram handle is @HikeToHuntChallenge. So look them up on Instagram, follow them. I'll also send out a couple collaboration posts with you once this podcast airs so people can find that easier.
Awesome.
It'll be in both our feeds.
And
then just again, one more once over, for first time attendees, just make sure you got good shoes, make sure you got water. Extra arrows.
Plenty of arrows.
Come hit up Eddie now because he's going to start to get busy, especially because it is going to be, though, August.
Right before OTC.
And that's OTC season. So when do people need to get in here to get their equipment from you just for this shoot to beat the OTC crowds?
This year's kind of weird, man, because we're busy right now, so it's hard to say.
And it's April.
Right,
April,
which is kind of crazy. If you need new strings and cables and stuff, definitely do that a few months in advance.
Okay.
If we're talking just arrows, usually that stuff is 2 to 4 day turnaround.
Okay.
Once we get closer to OTC, then that'll definitely turn to like 4 days to maybe 6 days.
That's usually business days too, right?
Business days, right? Yeah. So strings and cables, that stuff always is custom ordered.
Yep.
So that's very important to make sure you're coming and giving yourself enough time. But whatever we can do for you just to get you set up, the biggest thing is making sure we're safe, right? So if we could get by, go ahead and go do Hike to Hunt, but right after you need new strings and cables type thing, that's something we'll definitely let you know, but we want to still be safe.
Okay, cool. I threw some feelers out on Instagram just to see if anybody had any questions. So I've got a couple here for you.
I don't have notes for that though.
That's all right.
He's not prepared.
Well, this guy here, Easy Nuts, he asked, why did y'all move locations? We kind of already covered that just because you guys pretty much outgrew it.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know the exact number, but I believe it was like 450 parking spots, which we already completely exceeded. You know what I mean? Yep. And then, and it all depends too. Like we may get a car that had 4 people in it,
sure,
which is perfect. But then you get a lot of singles and maybe a double that chews up a lot of spots. So for us to grow and keep things fun and safe for everybody, 1,800 shooters, it was getting too tight. So that was the biggest thing. And maybe we got a partnership going with the Boy Scouts now,
Sure.
So maybe we can.
That'd be cool.
We can just follow them around from location to location,
P. Weissel AZ said, average step count doing the hike to hunt course. I don't know that I've ever counted my steps.
Yeah. So like I said, I know we track it with Onyx.
Okay.
So just like I said, so if we ever lose the target, we know kind of generally where we're going.
Sure.
But like I said, average, is anywhere from 2.5 to 5.5 miles per course. And there's some guys out there, that are in good shape and they'll do 2 courses, you know what I mean? So they're putting 7-8 miles on a day. So I don't know what that equivalates to steps, just because it's not flat. Like you said, you had to go over trees, you had down branches. I mean, we had a clear path just to get our side-by-side through. Like it's real life. Like I said, they're not, the one we used before was for the, was it cross-country skiing, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's just this tight little narrow areas. And so.
Yeah, it's not the hill course at Ben Avery. Like there's no, carved trail really. It is literally just.
No, we make our own, and that's why it's very important. You follow the, like if you're on the green course, and it'll show the green tag on, like let's say Shields is green. Yeah. It'll show the green tag, and make sure you follow that green tag all the way through. If you see another color, you're off track, and you need to just truthfully be careful, because you could be looking at somebody. So
sure.
And if you are, you have gone the wrong way, because we are adamant about making sure that there's no crossing over or anything like that. So if you do see another shooter, you veered off the wrong way. So
you guys always lay it out really good. It's always safe. I've never come across anything that.
We'll always have one or two that'll kind of just stray off, and that they'll look too far ahead. Like they'll see a green tag that way, and instead of going kind of this way, that way, they'll just cheat the thing, and before they know it, they're off course. You know what I mean? So
just paying attention.
Yeah. Yep. Easier said than done.
Right. Yeah.
Corey Shepard says, tell Scott Corey. I want to know if his Dodge will make it up the hill this year.
This guy. That guy. And I gave him a plug, too, about his coffee company. Yeah. That guy, he's the worst. So we went up. My son's birthday was the weekend before the event. So we went up and stayed in Flagstaff. Mm-hmm. And check engine lights came on, all that fun stuff. So I was like, perfect. It's a sensor that's, Dodge only part, like dealers are 4 weeks out. So I had to have another buddy tow my trailer down, and I had to limp my 1-ton home. Like it's like a big Prius going down the freeway. It was embarrassing. I couldn't get up hills. Yeah, the turbo wasn't engaging. It wasn't like there's no raw power. It was just it wouldn't shift. It was bad. Man. It was a $4,500 bill. So thank you, Corey.
Awesome. Well, Eddie, any additional thoughts you got?
No, we're just excited, man.
Yeah,
we're excited. I love going up every year. Like I said, I wish we could close down and be up there the whole 3 days, but I'd probably get in trouble if I did that. So we definitely look forward to at least shooting all day Sunday.
Maybe 2.
Yeah.
Maybe 2.
Yeah, we'll think about it.
And can you just open on Monday and close on Saturday?
Yeah, we can figure something out.
We'll just change the times on the door.
There you go. Exactly. Yep.
Your barbershop hours.
Yeah, exactly.
We could say we're still open. We're just in Flagstaff.
Yeah, we're open. We're just up there. Come meet us up there if you need something.
That'd be even better.
Right?
If you need something, we'll be 2.5 hours away.
Yeah. Yep.
Heck yeah.
Well, cool, guys. Scott, any last thoughts?
I don't think so. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I appreciate you guys' time. Eddie, thanks for letting us borrow the shop for a little bit. We are live. The business is going on right now. You got people walking around the shop. So
Russ hasn't yelled at me yet, so that's good.
I know you talked to him earlier, and he's like, I can't hear you.
Can't hear anyway, so.
We'll go get the cart and push him around for a little bit.
He needs another ride.
Who's carrying him on the hike to hunt challenge?
No dibs on that one. We'll probably make Ben do it.
We'll make Ben. Ben's
Yeah.
yep. He's volunteered now.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, I'll make sure to shoot the course with you guys this year.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, especially if it's on
forward.
Sunday. I'm gonna sneak away for a bit.
Heck yeah.
Go.
Make sure
That'd be awesome.
make sure it's the easy one, so I don't lose
Of
too many
course.
arrows.
Yeah.
The kids only course.
Yeah,
50 yards and in, that's it.
yeah, and I can walk up on it, right?
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. We appreciate it. Appreciate you guys being here. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Eddie. And make sure to look out for a future episode. Hopefully we'll cover it in the next year's
Awesome.
podcast. So,
Thank you.
Cool, guys. Thank you. Have a good one. Thank you so much for listening to the Bowhunting AZ podcast. Please be sure to subscribe to the podcast and smash those 5 stars on iTunes or Spotify and leave a little review at the bottom. It'll really help us out. For our short films, go subscribe over on YouTube. Just search Bowhunting AZ. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Bowhunting AZ. Good luck to everyone this season. Thank you again for listening. We'll catch you in the next episode.